Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy CLT here again, giving you another week 3 matchup here in the LOLMidwest Rec League featuring Happy Jellyfish G League versus Kappachungus Deluxe. Now, something you might notice here is just a slight change is we are now monetized here. So you will be seeing some ads. I'm going to do my best to make sure those don't happen in game, but we are new to this, so. But yeah, we've got some things we're trying to improve on, trying to help out on, and whatnot. So, but I'm going to post this in the server real quick. All right. Note, we do have some subs coming out for Kappachungus. They have a couple players that are on vacation. So we have Jew Vibes, Grace in the top lane, Campbell, who's made a very, very impressive start to the season at support. He's moving the mid lane. Timo's Kuchi is going AD, and Yom is going bot lane here. So they have 2 subs and a couple role swaps here. So looking at this draft, we do have a first pick Pantheon coming out. I do not know much of anything about these subs here, so there is a chance that this could be a flex pick, or this could just be they straight up know where this is going. Happy Jellyfish G League, though, coming out with the Jinx for Murph, and Perps taking the Amumu here. Actually, the Amumu could go top. Soup was a former jungler and was a pretty avid Amumu player. So we'll see where that ends up going. So we do see that there is now a Smolder coming out and Emilio. So the bot lane for Kappachungus kind of already been shown here. Smolder can also kind of go mid if the right matchup is available. I've seen him mid against stuff like Yone, if you play it correctly, is not bad. Galio is probably the big one that doesn't want to see a Smolder mid at all. But we'll see. The Milio, a very, very good safe support pick. It's kind of rising to the top as one of the better enchanters out there. The AoE cleanse that it can get, as long as it doesn't get a Mumu ulted, it can cleanse away the rest of the Mumu ult from his team. But Happy Jellyfish now getting rid of the Silas, so I was expecting a couple of pretty big ults coming out here. Kappachungus getting rid of the Lulu, so attacking the Enchanter pull here from Ashes. Which Enchanters are definitely something you want to pair with Jinx. She's not really a big fan of any other supports. She wants to be protected and kind of hands held going into the mid and late game when she can then start to really pop off in team fights. And then Tom Kench also getting taken away. That's a very rare but safe tank support. Jinx doesn't mind. Oh, and I actually didn't. I missed this red side pick. There's a LeBlanc pick. Let me refresh this real quick. Coming out. The portrait doesn't show, but that is a LeBlanc mid coming out. And now a Mel getting picked up here. So, quite interesting. We've seen Ashes on Jarvan support and crit MF support. So, is there a chance that this LeBlanc is going to go support? We have seen some aggressive support players take it there. So we will see what happens here. Galio getting picked up by Kappachungus, and then Renekton. So this Pantheon for sure going jungle here. Really beefy front line supported by Milio, and then Smolder's kind of the back line, late game insurance. I do like the fact that it's double melee here. If the Mel does go mid, while she can kind of go even with Galio to even like push him around if she wants poke for poke, but Galio easily starts to outscale her post one item here. And Urgot. So Urgot getting picked up here for Happy Jellyfish G League. So we see the Amumu going jungle, and I'm assuming the LeBlanc will be going support here. So let's see how this all shakes down. You've got Renekton versus Urgot. Urgot can kind of space Renekton to a point. It's not the most amount of range here, so I think they would be pretty happy at brawling with each other. Amumu versus the Pantheon. Alright, so we are waiting for the game to start here. I called for a couple restroom breaks before we get into the series, so one team that's R. Just waiting for the second one, and we will be ready to go. During the spectator delay, I will be running ads. I'm told that if I don't, it might happen in the middle of the game, and I would not want that to happen. So, hope everybody's having a really, really solid weekend. You know, we're far away from the 4th of July festivities that every dog owner hates. But for me, it was a pretty peaceful weekend overall. I cannot complain here. So, let's go ahead and move over. Well, I'll wait until they start doing the picks.
Your commands tire me!
I'd keep my head down if I were you.
I return to my training.
You would love the day in the void. Not a problem.
You can't cage me for long.
I recommend skipping.
So I don't.
You're duller than a broken sandwich.
Alright, well, one thing we did figure out here was it is, in fact, Mel mid LeBlanc support. Now, Jinx LeBlanc doesn't sound like the greatest dueling in the world. And I think if Smolder and Milio get to about the first back and they're not too far behind, it's hard for LeBlanc to make moves around the rest of the map just because of the amount of beef on the top side here. So we shall see how this ends up working out here. But Yeah, if Happy Jellyfish gets ahead, though, they have a comp that can just start to steamroll this game, but it's going to be real hard for them just because Kappachungus has so much beef on them. I'm sorry, I did not change this over correctly. There we go. We shall see how this one ends up working out. I would also expect Foe to maybe clear top to bot just to try and defend his bot lane a little bit. Just because an early Amumu gank with the magnification he can get onto magic damage really does help out LeBlanc. So, but this is what we got here. So I'm going to play an ad and go get myself something to drink, and then we will be right back with Game 1 of Happy Jellyfish G League versus Kappachungus Deluxe. Alright, here we go. Loading into, again, Game 1 here. don't expect too much here on the level 1s.
Seconds until minions spawn. A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has disconnected.
And of course, we have a pause here.
A summoner has disconnected.
Jew vibes. Grace is evidently having some connection issues. And it looks like we are ready to go here. Riot. Okay. I'll do this the old-fashioned way.
Minions have spawned.
So a little bit of vision from an invade here from KCA, trying to figure out where this summon was going to start. Nice early stack here from Timo's. Note Smolder took the W level 1 here, so not going to be able to stack off this first 2 waves on bot side, but definitely can poke out a little bit here. We'll see how this ends up happening. Ronan starting to trade early here with vibes. So some early trading here from Ronan. He is doing what he can here. Urgot's level 1 is pretty strong versus melees. Level 2 completed though. Oh, but Ronan did not land the E, so the W hit the minions. And that is a first blood going over to the Renekton here. So big misplay here from Ronan's. Ashes trying to dive in, get a little bit of trade going. Did bring the Electrocute and the Ignite. Oh, Renekton already doing some damage onto Ronan here. Oh, missed E here by Ronin. Shield does help him kind of tank a little bit of that trade. Quagmire using the Meld Deflect here. It's the only thing can go. But Ju ends up flashing onto Ronin and getting another kill. And that's 2 for him. But look at this. I mean, the wave is kind of even. Maybe slightly pushing back. So I think Ju Vibes Grace wanted to make sure that wave got in, but he does have the teleport here, and he is up a pickaxe. So big action here in the top lane. Quagmire poking down Campbell, which is fine. You can poke down Galio early, but after that first back, when he starts to get some MR, it's really nice. Ashes getting the W blocked by the Milio Q here. We do see, though, Jinx is up quite a bit on the farm here. 200 gold lead here for the side of Kappachungus. Nice root coming out of Quagmire here. Had enough mana for a Q. I think he could have walked forward and threatened lethal here. Electrocute coming out from Ashes on the Yome. All in coming out of Campbell here, and Campbell ends up getting the solo on the Quagmire. Though G-Vibes Grace gets one more back here in the top lane. Now 3 solo kills on this Renekton. Campbell getting the solo bolo versus Quagmire's Mel here. Quagmire did get a return kill, as that was in right within turret range. So 4-2. Feats of combat, though, going over to Kappachungus. Ash is moving up, trying to stop the back, but Yome would not let that happen. So very good play on the Milio here. Foe coming top lane just to try and persuade Ronin away from the lane. And it's kind of pushing away from him, so this is a really tough spot for Ronin to be in. And we see Renekton ends up picking up a call on this back. Nice snare coming out of Quagmire here. Oh my lord. This Urgot is in big trouble here. Though Freeze was kind of broken, it might still be there. Galio does rotate up. Perps, though, here. See an E forward coming out, though Galio will ult away. Ronin and Ronin will be taunted here and will end up falling. Perps still level 5 here. So Perps potentially was trying to look to flash there, but wasn't sure. And this is now 5 kills on this Renekton. Campbell getting off really good trades in the Quagmire. This is where I feel like Galio was going to start to take off in the lane. Oh, Campbell with the turret dive here and picks up another one. On the Quagmire. Oh, but the Jinx Rocket ends up grabbing Galio here, so shutdown going over the Murph's Jinx. We're already starting to see a little bit of a gold lead happen, about 1,300. Oh, but here comes Foe here, in combination with Smolder's ult. The double ults used onto the Jinx here. A very nice level 6 game coming out of Pantheon there. But Perps, though, kind of dancing around here. They're now one grub apiece here as Renekton's going to pick up the next grub. Campbell, though, is kind of sitting here melting Quagmire. Oh, a nice reverse on the E here. As Campbell ends up getting another one here. So 3 kills onto the Galio, 5 onto the Renekton here. And Kappachungus making a big statement in this early game. We're 9 minutes in, and they are already up about 2,400 gold. Ash is trying to just be as aggressive as he can, since this wave was kind of pushing away from them. But now Murph has cleaned it up as it got under turret. As you see, Campbell did back here. Will TP, has the full Hollow Radiance, and going MR boots. Foe using the E to catch up. Galio, though, diving in here, and they're on top of Perps right now, and Perps will end up falling. Foe ends up falling to Ash's combo here with the Ignite, but then Ash's also falls. So all in all, that ended up being a 2-for-1 here. But it's this Galio's already starting to take off here in the MR department. So let's see. The only real answer is the Urgot and the Jinx. Oh lord, and I see 2. Only 1 plate left topside. Wow. Renekton playing his lane super well. Already full Eclipse, close to MR boots. Only 37 stacks left on the call here, so this Renekton's super accelerated already. Do you see Kappachungus here starting up this next Drake? Murph's ult does go wide here. Oh, and a really close chance out of steal here. Ronan, though, is trying to do everything he can against this Renekton. Q comes out, though. Oh, Ronan. Oh, potentially. Oh, and the flash comes out, and that's a shutdown going over to Urgot. That's what they needed. There was a gold influx onto the weakest member, which is this Urgot here. And a little bit of a misplay there from Vibes. So I think he was okay to limit test that up until the turret shot came through. And then to get the flash on top of that was a really big feels bad. So Ronan building the Black Cleaver is a pretty big staple item for Urgot, though I'm not sure if I agree with it 100% first, just because no one's building really any armor right now. You see double MR coming out of Galliope. Antheon hasn't done anything with the boots upgrade. MR boots coming out of Jude, Vibes, Grace
Turret plating will fall
on the
soon.
Renekton here, so not sure the biggest value of Black Cleaver here. I could probably make a case for the Tiamat just to try and match wave clear so he doesn't get this first turret. Oh, Ashe is going in very heavily there. See, Renekton, though, he's going to have to hold this turret here. Because if he ever gets the wave to the turret here, I think Renekton will end up just one-shotting the turret, especially now that plates are down. Plates playing a big role up here in the top lane. I brought it to the turret here. Renekton, though, getting flipped over and taking a really, really nasty trade there. I think Ronan's going to start kind of stabilizing this lane a little bit. At least with that shutdown, he's extended that timer. So, Quagmire, very, very threatening. I have to say, though, I'm not a big fan of the Luden's Companion here. I think that item, while good, is more of like a burst style item, and I don't know who you're bursting on this top side of the map here. Because Renekton's already got MR boots, Galio's Galio. I just think if you're going to go something, you're going to go Black Fire to keep applying it and getting the DOT off that item. And do like double burn into Leandry's. Oh, Ronan, though, getting all in here. Renekton, though, ends up flashing forward and getting the kill. Oh, and Ronan just TP's out. Okay, Soup, well played, my friend. Well played there. Gets the Urgot R out, flashes forward to get the rest of the damage on the Renekton, and then TP's away before foe can stun him. Though that does give him tempo for this Rift Herald, which I believe will be feats of strength. Yeah, it should be feats of strength. Yep, there is the boots upgraded. You see Murph stacking up this Yontal here. One thing I didn't think about in this matchup is if Ashe goes forward and props the clone, Smolder still stacks on the LeBlanc clone. So a little cheeky way of getting a few extra stacks. Quagmire, you are doing negative damage to this Galio. When Ashes goes forward and falls to Timos. You see Foe dropping the Rift Herald mid here. Murph kind of spacing out this bot lane, which is actually really well played on him. Foe gets the turret in the mid lane here. Oh, nice trade overall by Ronan here as he's going to all in the Renekton here. And he gets a third solo kill. So 6 total solo kills from the top lane. 3 at the beginning from Renekton. And now Ronan has turned this game around up top here. As he ends up getting 3 and then back. do see Happy Jellyfish trying to posture. Galiold forced out here. Perps, though, ends up popping the ult. Yom has the Milio ult to disengage there. Lots of cooldowns burned here from that fight, but Ashes tried to go forward and pick off Yom, but Galio's MR shield that he gives came in clutch there. Renekton does eventually take the top turret here. See, stack-wise for Teemos, he's on 137 here, so scaling at a moderate to slow pace. TP coming out from Campbell here. Teemos with the 125 will be able to start stacking pretty quickly here. I like the Boots of Swiftness from Teemos, but you could have made an argument for, again, more MR. Just because that will cancel out the pen coming out of the Storm Surge, and maybe even the Sword Shoes, depending how much MR it is. It is 25 magic resist. So yeah, that would have canceled most of the pen coming out from Storm Surge and Sword Shoes. Hello, Penda. I see you first time in the chat here. Rank range for this game. So this is the LOLMidwest Rec League. This is our plat and below. You are allowed 2 Emerald 4 exceptions, and one of those Emeralds can rank up past E4 with a hard cap at E1. But here's Ronin to TP in the bot lane. Quagmire doing what he can. Foe getting the brunt of the Urgot ult here. He's going to fall. Galio comes back in here. This is the fight G League was looking for here. Ronin carrying this fight. We do see Smolder ends up going in, getting a kill, but Shutdown goes over to Jinx here. So big TP coming out from Ronin here. And I think this is just the thing they're looking for to start up this Otacon here. As Happy Jellyfish G League grinding back in this game. Still down about 5,000 gold, but the gold's on the right people. Ronin going forward here. Trying to take care of Renekton. Renekton still has ult. But Perps and Murph, 2 manning this Otacon here, and I think this is the influx of stats that they need to kind of start to level this game out. Ronin now the first one on his team to 2 items here. And I see Quagmire build, looks like he's building a Storm Surge. I'm 100% against that this game. I think you have to go Leandries and just pray that you do enough damage. Ashes, though, going all in on the Teemos here. Well, I'm glad you joined the server. Yeah, we have 2 leagues. One is known as our Sweat League, and one is known as our Rec League here. And this is the Rec League. We just relaunched it this split. The last time we ran it was, I believe, back in like early to mid 2023. But we want to give players the chance to play a little more competition instead of punching upward in the Sweat League. So a lot of these players did play Sweat, and they held their own to a point. But eventually, you know, punching up does get old. So we allowed them to bring in 2 Emerald 4s. Oh, we see Ronin here going in on Campbell. Let me get to this. Campbell doesn't really have much armor, and he uses the ult to get away, but gets pulled back here. So, big cooldown burn from Campbell there to still, unfortunately, get taken out. But yeah, so max cap of this league is Emerald 4. We allow 2 Emerald 4s per team. and one of them has can apply for what we call the growth clause, which just means if they grind up or duo with somebody and they end up getting the Emerald 3, it's not that big of a punishment here. We're not going to stop people from playing with their friends. So, it's just a little bit of a mixed league. Perb's coming in with a big ult. Renekton trying to go to the back line here. He's going to get taken out. Quagmire trying to frontline as much as he can with the W. Pops the ult, which doesn't end up taking down anybody. Campbell, though, here, ready to go at the team. And now we have what is going to end up being a 4v4 until Ashes gets back. Renekton's the only one that fell. Renekton picks up a Randuin, sorry. Oh, and Foe ends up getting sniped here from Ronin. And this dragon is gonna go over to Happy Jellyfish G Leagues. Look at this. Don't call it a comeback. They have now tied this game up 14-14 on the kills. They did lose feats of strength here, but definitely on the side of this Urgot here. Oh, and Timos ends up falling from the Storm Surge here. And he did have barrier up. Oh, that's a feels bad. Ronin doing so much heavy lifting here. Urgot is one of the few champions that if you need to have a single front line, he is one of the best at it. We're starting to feel like this Renekton may be falling off here. He's going really tanky on this third item. I'm not 100% sure if this is what's needed. Ashes, though, trying to go forward here on this LeBlanc support. You see the Seeker's arm guard broken here by Campbell in the last fight, so he's going to have to commit to this. Oh, but we do see Quagmire trying to flash away. Renekton's here on the bot side. Uses the Randuin slow onto Quagmire here. Oh, goes back to get the E2. It ends up catching Quagmire out in the bot lane. Let's check out where Smolder is at. Smolder will be at 225 on some of these next fights here. So yeah, Smolder at 225, I think will be a big game changer because he's gonna have to he's gonna have a really big front line in front of him, and I think he's gonna melt this Urgot down quite quickly. This Urgot hasn't built the greatest amount of health here. You know, Thornmail mainly more of a resistance item here, so he's got about 950 extra health coming out of items. I do like the fact that he's got 2 Armor items, but I don't really think the Thornmail completing it was the best case scenario. He could have sat on Bramble if he felt like he needed the Grievous Wounds, and I think he could have went somewhere else with the rest of his build, but we'll see. Quagmire just getting bullied here in this top lane. This Mel pick is just not working out. And when you're going full pin, there's just not much you can do. Oh, and Ash is getting jumped on here as he's fighting for vision. Ronan kind of chasing down Renekton here. Okay, gets a slow here. Oh, misses the R, which would have been another slow. So starting to see now that Urgot wins this in the split here. Foe, though, ends up ulting bot side. Here's everybody else coming. TP coming out here from the Mel here. They're going to turn it. Oh, nice engage here from Perps here. The flash R onto Amumu. Ashes going after the backline. Ends up getting dropped. Mel ult does not catch anybody. And a attempt at a turn coming out of Happy Jellyfish here. Also interesting, if Mel deflects the Q coming out of Teemos here, it also deflects the burn and the execute. I kind of didn't really think about this. But we do see this Air Drake is up. Ronan backing, but has TP here. Let's see what he tries to get for a component here. Just double longsword. And it looks like they kind of backed off to give all the space over to Kappachungus here. So let's see if they can re-enter this area. Quagmire, though, alright, there's where all this pen is going. Is he picks up one onto Yam. Ronan's going to go forward, and after the Renekton, Slow comes out for the ult. There's the execute coming out, and Cloud Drake goes over to the side of Happy Jellyfish. That is now 2 Cloud Drakes here. Renekton and Melio down. Let's see if these guys turn over to the Baron here. Urgot team comps tend to go through the Baron quite quickly, especially if he rotates around there, because the shotgun legs do percent health. But even without him rotating around the shotguns, they still end up taking it. And Happy Jellyfish G League ends up getting the Baron here, which is pretty massive because there is very, very little wave clear coming out of Kappachungus. Campbell, though, smart on him, gets the push and the turret in the bot lane. Campbell, for role swapping from support to mid, has looked really, really good on this Galio. Caught a few solo kills in the laning phase and even a couple on the side lane. So we'll see how big this Galio gets and how disruptive he gets in team fights here. Ashes using the double dash forward here to just keep Kappachungus on their toes. Teemo's at about half health here. Renekton is back from top lane. Looks like he's heading to the bot side jungle here. Quagmire does get the push in the bot lane tier 1 for Happy Jellyfish. And now they are grouped up here in a 0-0-5 setup here. All 5 members in the bot lane trying to just abuse the Baron that they have. Upgraded MR boots coming out of Grace. Here's Renekton. Happy Jellyfish looking like they're just trying to pull Kappachungus around the map and try to get some type of pick. Here, though, Teemos is able to pick up a majority of this wave. That is the one stable wave clear that he has. Oh, the W did quite a bit of damage to Ashes there. Ashes is down at least 1 level to Teemos here. down 3 levels to this Renekton, so he's going to have to play on edge here, try not to get taunted or Renekton stunned. Did complete both the pen items here. Oh, and Teemos ends up stopping both of their bags here. Oh, Ashes goes forward. It ends up getting one shot here from Foe and Teemos here. The execute played a big part into that. Oh, and Teemos ends up getting taken out here by Quagmire. So we start to see that this Mel build does quite a bit of damage if she gets picked on here in the back line. Ronan, though, getting Campbell's ult out, having the flash away from Galio. So lots of back and forth here in this mid game. We are still tied 2 dragons to 2, but we're only at about 1,000 gold lead here for the side of Kappachungus Deluxe. Do see GA picked up here by Foe, so he's able to start making the first moves. Completed Zonya's Hourglass. Came up a little bit ago by Campbell. While I'm not a big fan of the item, I do see the upside of Horizon Focus. You know, short range comp, you can definitely get the vision and find out where they are at. Dragon gets started up by Happy Jellyfish here, and it looks like this is going to be theirs. Mel ult comes out, and this is now Happy Jellyfish G League on 3 Air Drakes here, which is a boatload of out of combat movement speed and slow resist. There is a okay-ish amount of, there's not really that many slows. Smolder R is kind of the only one that comes to mind here that they're up against, but they are able to move around this map super quick here. Teemos still stacking up here. See, we know he hit 225 a while back. He is now at 331 here, so he's gonna be north of, let me see, Baron in 25 seconds. So he's gonna be around the 350 mark for this Baron fight here. Ronan will end up backing. See if he tries. He shouldn't have to use TP to get back onto the map with 3 Air Drakes. Like, this Urgot is cruising here. You have 428 movement speed when out of combat, plus the Air Drake spots. Oh, Campbell is going to end up taunting Ashes, and Ashes will fall again. This LeBlanc support, I love the theory, but it's just not really working out. It's really hard to face check the beef that's on the side of Kappachungus here. Ronan going all in here. We do see Campbell TPing here. This is going to end up being a 3v1. And I don't think Ronan's going to end up picking out any of them. He does miss the ult, which would have ended up getting Renekton here. But with that being said, they are now jumping on the Baron here. They're trying to melt this as quickly as they can. You do have your 2 damage dealers. Quagmire does deflect. They end up getting it, but at what cost here? As Teemos was going to end up executing everybody else. So that is Baron left on Ashes and Murph. Ashes ends up getting out of that one as he almost takes out Timos, though. Using the clone pretty cleverly to block. And it looks like we have potentially an inhib. See, they're trying to put up a fight here. Ronan is the scary guy. He's got Titanic Hydra completed now as well, so getting some health underneath his belt to go with those resistances. So now here's going to be the big fight is over this next dragon here that comes up in a minute 4. So Timos is going to be around the 375 mark, give or take. Full Thorn Mail completed from Campbell here. Foe's got the Hex Drinker here. Should be close to upgrading the boots here. He's about 200 gold off. Will not have it in time for this dragon, which is going to feel bad. Nice side steps here from Campbell. Renekton TPing, and it looks like Happy Jellyfish seen the TP and they wanted to move forward. Ashes ends up falling here from Timos here. Herbs is going to get taken out as well. Ronan trying to put up a battle in the front line, but it's just not enough here. And this is going to be a complete team-wide ace, a 5 for none coming out of Kappachungus. This is Kappachungus Deluxe taking game 1 against Happy Jellyfish G League. And what was an impressive start from them, but then Happy Jellyfish climbed back. So really, really well played by them. Let's go over to the client here. Kappachungus will end up taking game 1. Here, and Soup, aka Ronan, putting kind of the team on his back when it comes to the damage here. 43k here. Highest damage in the game. Alright, we're going to run another ad break here before we get into game 2. And then we'll come back with the draft.
What's up, man? Hello, Duh. This guy AFK, chat. Okay, well, I was gonna come say hello while you guys were on stream, see what was going on, how the game's going. But I'm gonna leave you, chat, because DLC is gonna be here. Good luck to the team.
Alright, sorry about that. Just had something come up just around me real quick. So band wise, we see pretty similar bands from both sides here. So, but Kappachungus, so Happy Jellyfish wanting to take red side again. Kappachungus bringing out the Sejuani. Followed up by Happy Jellyfish bringing out the Warwick. And one of my recently personal favorites here as a mid laner is the Ziggs. Ziggs getting a pretty decent sized buff this patch. And I feel like he can do a lot of good things now. He's kind of where he was at about a year and a half ago, where, you know, the burst build feels really good, but then the kind of just burn and Leandry's build where he can stand his ground is also pretty useful. But Warwick, Ziggs, Orianna, big wombo combo here. Orianna, one of her best friends in the jungle or even top lane, is Warwick here. Sejuani, Braum, Freljord comp going on. You have slows, you have stuns, you have knockups coming out of that. I'm not a big fan of Jhin with Braum. It's a really hard task to proc the Jhin. I'm sorry, to proc the Braum passive with Jhin because his attack speed is pretty slow. So we'll see if they draft any additional auto attackers here. But Happy Jellyfish getting rid of kind of the engage or long range poke here, getting rid of the Camille and the Xerath. Kappachungus getting rid of the Braum. I'm sorry, getting rid of the Lulu with Braum showing here. Smalls, I'm not saying his full name. We've been over this, bro. And the Scion getting rid of. The Scion is a really clever ban here because Ziggs and Orianna both need kind of time and rotations to chop down like decent like front lines. They're not a big front to back comp, but they do enjoy a big super tank in front of them. Not only is it another form of like ball delivery for Orianna, but the amount of CC Scion brings can set Ziggs up quite well. So we'll see what Happy Jellyfish brings here. And a Sivir coming out here. This is a support Ziggs, actually. Okay. This is quite interesting. Support Ziggs into Jhin Braum. That's going to be something here. And we see Kappachungus potentially bringing out the Hui. I do like Hui here. Now, if you're facing Hui, he's not a great big lover of poke and artillery here, so I think you actually rotate Orianna to the support role here, and you pull the Ziggs mid, and Mbessa coming out here. We'll see if this is a Warwick top or jungle. I think Warwick top is pretty good into Mbessa. You hold down the Q, and you can go with her dashes and stay on top of her. And then a Poppy coming out, which is also another really big pick here. So I love the Happy Jellyfish draft here. I think the amount of flex picks that they have are in the right spots and they do the right things, to where they could line up and almost have every lane countered here. So I'm very, very curious to see where everybody goes on the side of Happy Jellyfish. I will say, like, with Ashes coming in, he's very, very unique champion pool and thoughts on the support role, which he told us casting game 3 last week. So we'll see how this ends up going here. I think if they are smart here, they play the Ziggs mid, the Orianna support. Ziggs in the Braum, like, yeah, you can throw poke, but he's okay with throwing up the E and blocking a lot of the QEs.
I'd put my head down if I were you.
So,
I return.
We'll see what happens here. Let's go over to the client side here and see where everybody's going.
Not a problem.
If Happy Jellyfish do this the right way, this might be my favorite draft of the season so far. And it is a poppy top. I don't think I got no issues with it. I think the Warwick Poppy could be exchanged, and they do very similar things here. I'm really curious to see which one goes mid here for the side of Happy Jellyfish G League. And they heard the call here. Ziggs mid into Hui here. So this is an Orianna support coming out of Ashes. This is one of my favorite drafts out of the Rec League so far, this split. They got all the answers they wanted. They have all the pseudo counters you can get. Orianna's great with Sivir specifically.
Reek of fear.
And they really don't have a super tank to deal with, so Ziggs could, in theory, go like a Luden's Companion, Storm Surge, into like Leandry's, and then go from there. So I'm very excited to see how this game ends up pulling out. So, yeah, very, very well done here by Happy Jellyfish. I do like this draft quite a bit. Alright, I'm going to play one more ad here, and we should be getting into Game 2 of Happy Jellyfish G League versus Kappachungus Deluxe. Kappachungus did take Game 1 here, so we'll see how Happy Jellyfish responds here. Alright, here we go. Game 2. We got Kappachungus Deluxe on the blue side, and Happy Jellyfish G League on the red side here. Kappachungus did take game 1. And a pretty hard fought game 1. It looked like they were going to run away with it at the beginning.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
So pretty equal 5-stack here, coming out from both teams. I really look for Happy Jellyfish to kind of make some stuff happen in lane. I think they have much more advantageous matchups. One thing standing out to me already is Ronin with the Hail of Blades D-Blade start. That is quite interesting. Ashes with this Orianna support is going to be able to Q-poke a little bit here. Ashes are giving some return damage onto him. See how this ends up going. Level 2 coming out. Murph gonna get double stunned up here. And heal burned plus ignite and the barrier here. So 3 sums forced out on the bot side of Happy Jellyfish here. Campbell trying to be aggressive here, which you can be against the Ziggs early. He does tend to run out of mana until Lost Chapter. Riot. Riot. God damn it. We are back in now. Luckily we didn't miss any first blood, anything like that. Do you see a little bit of a CS lead around the corner from top to bottom here for Kappachungus here? This is kind of where they started to take off last game, was in the laning phase. Oh, nice level 4 roam here from Yom. And forced out the Ziggs flash early, but it was a nice flash to get the Q slow in. And Campbell landed the Hui ult perfectly here. So first blood going over to Campbell and Miva on the Hui here. A little bit of a trade back coming from Ronan here. I'm just not a fan of this like Bruiser Poppy. Like he's trying to bring the jungle build top lane. Oh, Ronan potentially getting one back here. But Vibes Grace ends up taking the solo kill here on the Mbessa. Nice trade again coming out from Campbell here. He's really taking control of this lane here. Perps is yet to make a move on the map. He does have level 6 here. So see where this first Warwick ult ends up going. They do have quite a bit of a wombo combo between Warwick Ziggs, Warwick Poppy. Bot lane doing some pretty decent trading here. W snare ends up going wide. Oh! But a 3-man gank on the Campbell here. He ends up getting the fear out in the middle of the Warwick charge. And the way that works is that'll actually fear Warwick at the same frame as his ult lands. And the CC gets applied secondary because it's a skill shot. So Campbell ends up fearing Perps out of the ult, but with Ronan there, they end up taking him down here. So one in return here, a little under a 1,000 gold lead. They do have first dragon for the side of Kappachungus Deluxe. My apologies. We do see the grubs, though, getting taken here from Kappachungus. I think they had vision on Perps being bot lane. They did not. They just had prio in top. So, void grubs taken by Kappachungus here. So, lost chapter completed by the Ziggs here. He's still a little ways from the Luden's companion, but he can definitely start the wave clear here against Quay. Actually, Campbell's taking quite a bit of poke here. All in from both mid laners as they traded ults here. And Quagmire kind of got the best of that one as well. And Perps ends up getting one back. Foe, though, trying to help. Oh, and a Warwick ult comes out of nowhere, and that's Feats of Warfare going over to the side of Happy Jellyfish. And back-to-back ganks from Perps. He'd been quiet on the map the whole game. But here at the 11-minute mark, he ends up getting back-to-back, gets a solo laners, a couple kills. Ronan ends up getting a plate here, but gets jumped on here by Vibes. Perps, though, is in the area. Ends up flashing the fear. And I don't think you want that. That is a completed Eclipse. Vibes also, kind of similar to last game, picks up the call on this back after the completed item. Ronan does complete the Sundered Sky here, so he's going to be able to use the Buckler to proc that quite a bit. We do see some poke now traded here. Ashe is getting jumped on here. And Yom ends up flashing for the Q, though he is quite low. Oh. Zig's ult does come down from downtown. Quagmire ends up picking one back, though Timos does end up taking down Murph here, so that ends up being... Oh! And here's the dog again. And Perps ends up getting another one here onto Timos, but Foe was in the area to pick up that kill under the turret as well. And with the jungler being down, they're going to use this tempo here to get Dragon. And then Bessa picks up one here on the Quagmire. Oh, Ronan doesn't fall here to Blackfire, so he ends up living on the like sub 10 HP. Ashe is kind of playing around with fire here. Nice ult from Ashe's. Perps, though, might have the cleanup here with Murph in the area. But here comes Timos as well. So it ends up being a 1-for-2 here. Nice dodges overall from Murph. And it looks like here for the time being, we have a little bit of a lane swap coming on here. Murph just deleting that wave. You know, should be close to his first item here. We do see Timos ends up getting the Collector and the Boots of Swiftness here. Heartsteel completed by Foe. Everybody's kind of finishing up on their first items. Nice engage here from Yom. Murph ends up sidestepping everything. I think he's trying to play the sidestep game a little too much there. He could have just ran away or committed to the side here. Ashe's ult ends up pulling Timos back, and it almost gets the 1-for-1 here. Here comes the dog, though. Oh, what a snipe from Perps onto the ult. Shutdown going over to him. See if he does. He does end up getting the 2-for-1. So back-to-back shutdowns going over to Perps here. 'Cause now he's in prime position to try and carry this game here on a fed Warwick. Ronan, though, going all in on the Campbell. Campbell misses the E, though. And Ronan ends up getting one back on the Campbell here. So nice sequence overall for the Happy Jellyfish G League team here. We'll see what comes out of this. Quagmire playing a dangerous game with Mbessa right there. Rift Herald does go over to Kappachungus as Foe ends up picking that one up. Feats of Strength ends up getting completed here by the Kappachungus side here. I didn't miss that pickup. Well played from the bot lane here. Ashes dodged 3 of the 4 shots to the point where Jin was just happy to hit somebody and then ended up being spell shielded by Murph. Quagmire forced a back here unless Mbessa's just not going to go for it. She will most likely be going for it here. Ronan is in the area though. Murph getting all in here by Sejuani R plus Campbell's ult. Murph flashing away though. Ends up spell shielding the smite, but here's Perps in the back line. And he ends up getting one back here, so Murph and Campbell both fall here. Quagmire though kind of face tanking Yom. And it looks like Perps and Ashes are going to start up this dragon here. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be very, very hard here in this mid game for Kappachungus' team comp to just walk into Ziggs. Especially with all the disruptions like Fear from Perps. Ronan has a steadfast presence. Like, I think it's going to be a very tall task for this Mbessa to do anything in the mid game. I think she's going to have to dedicate herself to like split pushing. And then maybe TPing to a fight after it starts when there's some disruption here. Ronan's starting to get in the better part of these trades. That's a Stirk coming out of here. So this is not a tank Poppy. Okay. Alright, I see you here, Ronan. Foe coming out from the jungle here. Quagmire gets taken out by Timos here. Ash's ult ends up whiffing, unfortunately, to knock off Yom. And he's going to end up getting poked out here, but here's Perps. Campbell doing his best here. But again, here's Perps. But Murph ends up taking that one. As Campbell tried to TP out. And now we have Ambessa here. TP to the bot side. So it ended up being a 3-for-2 in favor of the Happy Jellyfish G League. They're only down by about 2,300 gold here, so the game's still very, very competitive. The Astronaut Poppy's got probably one of my favorite backs in the game. Oh, and the W doesn't get the execute on top lane here, but with his passive, he's still going to end up getting it. We got double burn coming out of Campbell's way here. Let's see. Quagmire might be going Storm Surge, might be going Shadow Flame. I'm personally in favor of Shadow Flame. But Pen in general, not a terrible second item. Foe pulling the trigger here onto Ashes. Ashes does at least get the ult out. Or no, it didn't. But here is Ambessa in the bot side diving in here. Warwick CC'ing Ambessa here, and that's a shutdown going over to Perps. Again, we noted how difficult it was going to be to kind of play this Ambessa in 5v5s because there's so much shit for her to get through. And we see Ronan completing the Yomu's Ghost Blade. Okay. See here, Quagmire's got to be on a pretty big back. Yeah, he's got almost 2k in the pocket here. So he's trying to make a push here for this mid turret. But Jin does have a decent amount of wave clear. Yom kind of suspects something here. Ziggs is going to eventually have to catch top lane here. We'll have TP for the Otacon fight. Oh! Yeah, okay, there he goes. Yep. Dragon, though, is up now. It will be Hextech Soul coming out. Teemos, though, going to end up face-checking. And Ash's ult as well coming out here. Teemos is going to end up falling here to this Poppy. Ziggs TPing here. Ronan's going to end up falling. Big suppression coming out of Perps here. Campbell, though, gets off a really big ult in the back line. Ziggs' ult does some pretty decent work overall. And that is a 1-for-1. Top laners for AD. And a very nice combo from Ashes and Ronan there. And Bessa did TP bot lane, though, to continue pushing here. Campbell will end up backing. Ends up picking up the Dark Seal. I think if you have enough money left over, you go after the upgraded boots. He did leave base with 1,000 gold, so feels bad not to upgrade those boots, because the Sork boots are one of the better ones to upgrade immediately. So we'll see. Ashes has ult back up now. Perp still has a few more seconds left on his ult. let's see what happens here. Casey does have mid lane push here, so Happy Jellyfish going to lose mid lane minions there. Let's see if they can try and go out. Zig's ult does miss everything here. We'll see. Ronan has the Ori ball on him. See, is potentially looking to Hexgate. See what these teams want to do. Ziggs has to respond to mid lane here, and with no ult. Okay, big value out of Steadfast Presence, but Orianna falls, Poppy falls, Herps is in the back line getting jumped on here. Murph unable to walk in. Quagmire tried to do his best, laid down an E in the minefield, and it just wasn't enough here. So that ends up being a 2-for-1 off of the engage from Imbessa there. And this is going to be the third Drake handed over to Kappachungus Deluxe here. They did win game 1, so if they win this, this will be a 2-0 for their week 3 series. Happy Jellyfish trying to bring this back.
That's why I chose you.
Alright. Ronan running into Young here. Unable to get anything started there. We do have Grievous Wounds picked up by Ronan. Looks like the start of a Spirit Visage coming out of Perps. Shadow Flame completed by Quagmire. Looks like he's going after the Death Cap now. Murph is pretty behind here compared to his counterpart. IE and Essence Reaver completed, so no attack speed, no Yun Taos, nothing like that. Ashe is still contributing to the damage, has the Luden's Companion and the Zax. But if we look at the other side, Campbell's already 2 needlessly rods in. He does not have enough, though I would have stayed in base to get the boots again. Foe getting very, very tanky here. Looks like he's going after a kinetic Rukerin for his MR choice here. And Timos on 3 items here, working on a 4th with upgraded boots as well. Ashe is potentially getting jumped on here, having to flash away. I thought Foe could continue to go there with Jin in the back pocket. You are a very, very tanky Sejuani. Passive was still up as well. Levels across the board. Perps being 1 level up on Foe. He was the recipient of a lot of these, leftover kills and side lanes. So got a little bit of an experience boost there. But everybody else is pretty much equal or below for the side of Happy Jellyfish. We're going to see what happens here. We do have Dragon up in 1 minute. Quagmire might have a chance to get to Death Cap. No, he will not, unfortunately. We do see Last Whisper coming out of Murph, which will help. It is one of the better single components. Quay completing the death cap is pretty big. I would expect Foe to have Kinetic Rookern here relatively soon. And so we'll have a couple of item completions on the side of Kappachungus here for this next fight. Yep, there's the Kinetic Rookern. And oh, we do have a Lord Doms completed by Murph, so he is on 3 items. That's a big pickup here for this impending fight. Grievous Wounds picked up by Mbessa. I think it's also a pretty nice single component pickup that could change a fight. So, see, Campbell is in this bot lane getting pushed in by Quagmire here. I think it's not obscene for Quagmire to start TPing. Nice 1-2 punch coming out of Ashes and Ronan here. And Bessa, though, is in the back line here. Ashes falling. Ronan's going to end up falling here. Perp's trying to take a lot of the damage. And Hui ult ends up going to the wayside. Ult coming out here from Quagmire, but he used the satchel to knock Yom out of the ult, which would have taken down Braum. And Bessa gets a back off, but does TP to this bot side. Campbell now on a killing spree. He's 4, 5, and 3 here. Murph gonna get jumped on here by Mbessa. And that's gonna end up being the Hextech Soul coming out here for Kappachungus Deluxe. And they are going to head over to to the Baron here as they are full 5 stack. They take this down very, very quickly. Campbell now on his death cap. Baron does end up going over to the side of Kappachungus. I will say, Happy Jellyfish does have a decent amount of wave clear here with Sivir and Ziggs. Ziggs, though, needing to push to this death cap real soon. He's about 500 gold away. I think the one interesting thing about this game is Otacon has not been taken yet, but it looks like Kappachungus is going to start pathing that way. Quagmire needs to start walking this way if they're going to fight this. If not, he could potentially push topside and get the turret. They're not going to start up Otacon, not with Foe backing right now. So that gives Quagmire a chance. He does have his death cap here, and he does have Hextech Gates, so see if this Ziggs can set up a little bit of poke around this Otacon area. He is pretty farmed up, level 17. Gotta respect the poke here. Just got blue buff as well, so you can start letting these keys fly. Ends up lobbing the ult to get vision of Otacon here. Landmines coming out here. Blue team ends up taking Otacon. Hui ult ends up being big, and Bessa diving the backline here on the Ashes and the Quagmire. A double kill coming out from Campbell here in that fight. Quagmire still left up here, so no end angle from Kappachungus yet, but they are starting to put their foot down on this game. Foe just deciding to go ahead. Actually, I might be mistaken. This could very well be an end angle because they have Baron. Quagmire ends up trying to ult the minions, but Baron minions do not take that much damage from magic sources here. And Kappachungus is going to end up taking the series 2-0 against Happy Jellyfish G League. very, very competitive series overall. So, well played here from the Kappachungus team with a few subs.
Yo, how's it going?
Yo, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Oh, my bad. I had the Twitch stream on. I just heard myself. Jeez.
It happens, man. It happens. How you doing, man?
Not too bad, bro. I'm a little happier with my mid play than I thought I was gonna be.
Yeah. What?
Thought the games went pretty well.
I mean, the first game, it felt like you guys were in the driver's seat, and then that started to get out of hand real quick. There.
Yeah, to be honest, once the Urgot finished his black cleaver, that's when he really started just chewing into us. Like, we were super fed, so I thought we could just take any 1v1, but I had no armor items yet, and he was just started running the map. But we got it under control at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. What about kind of your subs coming in here, Clutch? I know your top laner definitely didn't mind brawling there in that game.
Oh yeah, we are so happy. I know. We came into this game. We had 2 subs, 2 people off roll. I was like a little prepared for it to be like, okay, might be a bit rough. But then game 1, he comes through with like 3 straight solo kills in the laning phase. I was like, okay, like not too bad. Might have to replace Teemo's Coochie. He might have to swap to ADC full time as well.
Oh, what are you gonna tell Golden then?
Oh, I don't know. He's not going to be happy, but maybe he should have been here if he wanted to stay as our full time. Like I don't know. That was a good performance.
Shit. Okay. I didn't know it was about to be like that.
I don't know. I just think the best ability is availability. So if Golden Sunset's not going to be here,
Well, I will let you handle that one then, my friend. But
oh, it's handled.
no, it wasn't bad. I know we've went toe to toe in lane before, and I definitely see it's like I don't know if have you been practicing mid or you just came in this cold.
Nope.
Okay.
I played a couple games of Silas, but they banned it. Unfortunately, I was ready to show the world my Silas, but it'll have to wait. And then yeah, the Galio I just think was like a perfect pick for that draft, so I just went ahead and picked it. And I was pretty surprised that I got so much prio in mid lane. I think the guy he respected a little too much. And just kind of let me run around and ult wherever I wanted, so it ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much Mel can do in the Galio. Like at first second back, he starts to become kind of unmovable for her. So you do create prio, and after a couple solo kills, you got a super accelerated. But yeah, that Urgot was a pain in the ass for you guys.
Yeah, there was a couple nerve-wracking plays there. I remember there was the one on bot side where I got caught. And then my jungler got caught, and then I ulted back in, and it was just like a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up being okay. We recovered it at the end. Smolder just cleaned up for us at the end.
Yeah, that it was. So, what's your thoughts here after like this first 3 weeks of the Rec League?
I'm pretty optimistic. I think there's a lot of solid teams. I'm still super scared of Boppet. They totally destroyed us in week 1. I don't think we were at our best performance-wise that game, but I mean their mid laner Christmas music looks really good. But as for us, I think we've sort of settled down these last 2 wins, and I think we're ready to keep the winning going. Hopefully make playoffs, do some damage.
Yeah. This was an impressive win, and just the way that these teams all got bunched up, it feels like every week there's like marquee matchups around here. You guys week 2 against Caster Curse, that was a very competitive series, and now Happy Jellyfish gave you guys everything you could handle the game 1. The game 2 definitely felt like you guys kind of were in control. There was a couple of moments there, but
there was a little bit of a Hui teleport incident. But other than that, it was okay. I was really far behind, to be honest. Honestly, my first death, I was really sad. I thought I played it so well. I buffered the fear on the Warwick ult, and then I flashed the Poppy, and I still died. But
yeah,
they were a good matchup.
Yeah. And then what do you guys got looking ahead? You got Big Brain All Mechanics, who is in the upswing. There's so many good matchups still.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for tomorrow's 2 games. Get a little bit of a preview to see what's going on, because we're definitely looking towards our next game. I think we can do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Tomorrow we've got the Team Solid and Misfits, which I believe Nexus confirmed he will be covering that one. And then Bop It Twisted versus Caster Curse. We might go over the replays of that on Tuesday. I gotta work out some availability, but 2 games on Monday is like my worst night. So, but either way, we'll make sure these games get out there. And yeah, these are both two big matchups left for week 3. So, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on here. You guys look like you're definitely picking up steam. I think it was a blessing in disguise for you guys to start off with. I think what everyone would agree is the top team right now
Yeah, we
in week 1.
definitely locked in after that. We weren't super prepared coming in, and they definitely showed us like they mean business. And after that, we definitely took it a little more serious of practicing and drafting and everything.
Yeah. Actually, this would be a hell of a start for Bop It. They've got you guys, Team Solid, who's looked very, very strong, and then Caster Curse, which is another strong team. I think they play, what, 4 of the top 5 in the power rankings the first 3 weeks?
Yeah, and I mean they won their
Something like
first
that.
two pretty convincingly too. So I mean, they definitely are the team to beat here. If someone can take them down, I'd be looking at them as a surprise, sleeper pick for playoffs or anything.
Yep. All right, my friend. Well, I will let you go. It is getting a little late over here, but glad you could join me, and I'm glad you guys could pick up the win. Your subs looked really, really good. So,
Yep, definitely. Thank you so much.
oh, not a problem. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. See ya.
And that was Campbell Amoeba, who is the support who off-rolled the mid lane. This split for Kappachungus Deluxe here as they take the 2-0 series versus Happy Jellyfish G League. And they strike first when it comes to the 2-1 standings here. So that does put them in a tie with Big Brains All Mechanics, as Big Brains did take down Minimum Talent. But we'll see who else joins them on the 2-1 train here. But yeah, we do have 2 games tomorrow. Again, unknown if the first one, or I'm sorry, if the Caster Curse Bop It will be streamed. I know Nexus said he was planning on taking the Team Solid versus MN Misfits. So if he takes that one, we will see if I can cover Bop It Twisted or if I can get somebody else. If not, those will be covered on Tuesday nights. I will ask one of them for the draft, and they will be goaded enough to send it over, and we will get those games out there. Again, reminder for week 3, Yanara is disabled, so after this week, week 4, you will see Yanara pop up in this rec league or just potentially just get perma banned. So, but until then, I appreciate you guys joining us. Throw us any Twitch primes or any subs that you would like to throw our way. Now that we are monetized here, so I do appreciate everybody coming out and kind of joining me on this quiet Sunday night. I know Clash was going on as well, so probably some people still flaming out about their Clash brackets or anything like that. So, but yeah, until next time, we will see you guys tomorrow for again some more Rec League action as this league keeps just heating up week after week. Deuces.